You know times are tough when the thugs and the gangbangers are resorting to couponing. The fact that I'm standing in the store, somebody who I know is about the street life for real, I iced out all over. They smell like paraphernalia. If you catch my drift, talking about, hold on, let me open up the Ibotta app. Then gonna say every penny counts, right? Do you know how much of an economic crisis we are in for a thug to have Ibotta on their phone? The stuff is getting real interesting. The suburban moms are out here stealing. They put I would have never thought it. I would have never thought it. You stepping out of a $100,000 vehicle that Chad paid the lease up for a whole year, and you up there stealing, and they got you on camera. They just waiting for you to come back again. Times are tough.
I have a serious question. What is going to happen when doctors, nurses, and other essential workers can't afford to drive to work because gas is so expensive? I really think it's just going to keep getting more expensive. I mean, somebody predicted that it would be up to $5 by the end of June, and it's one of the first weeks in May, and it's already almost at $5. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when the minimum wage stays the exact same, but everything else keeps increasing? What are we going to do? And I'm not trying to be funny or like make satire content. I promise this is a genuine question. I'm trying to come up with ways to reassure myself and to have hope. But how do you have hope in a situation like this? I have this constant pit in my stomach of like dread and just constant stress because what am I going to do? Gas is $5 a gallon and you have to spend $20 to get 2 items at the grocery store. Nobody can afford that. At first it was like, okay, this is getting a little crazy. But I mean, at this point, what are we gonna do? I'm not smart when it comes to this kind of stuff, like the economy or anything or finances, but I do know that logically that doesn't make sense, nor would that be sustainable for people to live. I mean, even nurses and doctors who are making more expensive salaries, they're complaining of, not being able to afford gas and groceries. What about regular people making minimum wage? I'm just so scared. You wake up every day, see something new in the news about how everything is going up, and I'm not getting an email saying that I'm getting a raise. What do we do?
Anyone else feeling more depressed than normal lately? I'm just curious. Like, just this, like, looming depression. And it's not like boohoo, lock yourself in a dark room depression, but you can feel something's off. My take is this. I just filled up my gas tank, and for $30, I got a day's worth of gas in my truck, essentially. And I'm realizing more and more of how fucked our economy is. I went through this last recession deal that we did in the early 2000s, and it fucking sucks. And this is all the signs of what it was. I mean, how many people out there right now have no credit card debt because you don't need to live on your credit cards? I make more money today than I did 5 years ago, by far. Yet I am tremendously broker than I was 5 years ago. If I would have made this money 5 years ago, holy shit, like life would be amazing. But it's like, it's not enough. And now all of a sudden you kind of like feel like a failure, and you start to get in your head of like, why am I constantly stressed? I mean, are you driving around with your check, your fuel light on, or are you giving up your health insurance because you're trying to cut corners somewhere just to get some more money and cash flow somewhere? I don't know, man. I will say this. I think it's going to get a lot worse, way worse than this before it ever gets better. I think you're going to see a lot of people struggle with addiction. I think you're going to see a lot of people struggle with mental health. Like, it's going to get fucking crazy. Kind of like it did back then. And I don't mean to be like some, like sound the alarms or whatever bullshit, but I'm just like, I'm watching more and more people just using credit cards on shit and just not having money all of a sudden, and never slowed down the spending. And now all of a sudden it's like we didn't even slow down the spending and you're just broke. I don't know. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that this is just a little phase. I guess we'll find out. I just want to let you know, if you're struggling right now, you ain't alone.
All right. I just want to go on a rant real quick because I'm so tired of not being able to do something fun or exciting or even go to the fucking movies without it costing an arm and a leg. If you make $700, if not $800 a week, you should be able to have fun. You should be able to do stuff that are exciting, or maybe go to a different city, travel. No, it's not even like that. It's like going to bills or food or making sure your animals are good or whatever it may be. If you have kids, you gotta make sure they're okay, doctor's visits, all these things. And it's like, I remember back in the day when $700 could get you so much shit. It could pay your rent, it could pay half your bills for the month, if not more. And now $700, $800, if not $900 is not even fucking enough anymore. It's just insane. Like this month alone, I have a lot of stuff I want to do, but I don't even know if I will be able to have the funds for that because all my bills seem like they keep on going up and up and up. Whether it's my internet, whether it's my gas, whether it's my electric, whether it's my food bill, or I should say groceries, or going to the pet store, or buying stuff for my reptiles, or doing whatever. It's insane. It's fucking annoying. And then on top of that, it doesn't help that my depression, anxiety, ADHD, overthinking, and everything in between is just on high alert. It's just draining the shit out of me like it's like a vampire just sucking the life out of me. I just don't know anymore. I really don't. I don't know how I'm going to make it through this month, let alone fucking summer. Peace, guys.
How do I explain to my mom that my $5,000 a month income is not enough to support me as a single male in the United States? The headache that comes with trying to get her to understand that rent is not $600 anymore. It's almost $2,000. And that's for a basic 1-bedroom apartment that's not in the hood. I'm not splurging my money. Buying groceries is part of my budgeting now. Buying groceries efficiently is part of my budgeting. I have a full-time job. Here's the worst part. I told her I'm trying to get a new job. She tells me, well, have you thought about going down to the people's office and, handing them your resume? Mom, handing them my resume. I can't even get to the assistant without getting through a receptionist, without getting through their security in the front. Mom, that's not a thing anymore. I now use Sprout, where I auto-apply using AI to directly to company websites, and even that has been a struggle. Luckily for me, that method has actually been proven to work. But if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have landed any of these jobs. Mom, $5K a month is not money anymore.
So on this TikTok, I've never talked about this. I've never talked about like politics or my political affiliation, but question. How are you surviving in today's economy? And I ask this because my husband came home this afternoon. He went shopping, and normally it's me doing like Walmart, like pickups or drop off. So he never sees how much it is. And he's like, how are people fucking surviving? How are people surviving on these prices? Because they're ridiculous, even at his standards. And, I will say that we are very fortunate. While yes, we have to pay more, we are not figuring out, do I pay my mortgage or do I pay my electric bill? Do I pay my car note? Do I pay daycare? We don't have to worry about that. So I'm so fucking thankful for that. But the people that are, barely making a livable wage, how are you surviving? As I said, I never talk about politics, but our lovely president was bragging that, oh my God, credit card spending has never been so high. Why are we fucking bragging about that? My son, people are using credit cards because they don't have enough fucking money to be able to buy things. So now they're spending stuff at a 30% fucking interest rate, hoping that in the future, maybe they will be able to pay it back. That's not a flex or a brag. And then, we took away, how the fucking interest rate with the cap, and which is credit cards, and the interest rate is just predatory lending. Credit scores are predatory lending too. But if you ever wonder where my fucking political stance is, release the Epstein files. I think all children should have free lunch. Nobody is illegal on stolen land. And when we say save the kids, let's really save the kids, not this bullshit that we hide behind. And a woman's body is a woman's body, and it's her right. So if I lose people, I don't really give a fuck. But my genuine question is, regardless of what side the line you're on, how are you surviving? Because it is a tough world out there. And I just know, like, this past Christmas, I couldn't believe, we were able to help over 75 families provide a Christmas. And I just feel like this year is going to be even worse. And it's a very scary world we live in. So how are you surviving? And And I guess the better question is, are you okay?